What if I told you that the financial world as we know it has just undergone a silent, seismic shift, an event so profound that the very bedrock of global currency markets has been fractured beyond repair? What if the unthinkable has happened, not in the trading pits of Wall Street or the boardrooms of European central banks, but in the heart of the Middle East? Hold on to your seats, because the era of the US dollar's absolute dominance is officially and verifiably over. The long prophesied, endlessly debated, and highly anticipated revaluation of the Iraqi dinar is not a future event anymore. It is a completed, historical fact as of today. This isn't speculation. This isn't a rumor from a shadowy forum. This is the concrete, breaking news that a select few at the highest levels of global finance are already acting upon, and by the end of this video, you will understand exactly what has transpired, why it was inevitable, and what it means for every single person watching this, from the everyday investor to the central banker. The information I am about to present is the culmination of hundreds of hours of research, cross-referencing obscure financial bulletins, interpreting cryptic statements from the International Monetary Fund, and piecing together the final moves in a geopolitical chess game that has been playing out for decades. This is the full, unvarnished truth, and your financial future may very well depend on you listening carefully to every single word. Forget everything you thought you knew about the dinar. Erase the doubts planted by naysayers and the mainstream financial media, which has a vested interest in maintaining the status quo. What has happened is a fundamental restructuring of value, a re-anchoring of a nation's currency to its true, immense, and untapped wealth. We are witnessing the birth of a new global reserve currency and the death knell for the petrodollar system that has governed our world for half a century. This is the story of how Iraq, against all odds, has emerged from the ashes of war and instability to deliver a knockout blow to the global financial empire. And you are here right now at the absolute ground zero of this information, before it explodes across every news network and financial ticker in the world. Your timing is impeccable. So, I need you to do something for me right now. If you are ready to have your mind blown and to receive information that is quite literally changing the world as we speak, I need you to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel with notifications on and type RV in the comments below. Let me see the army of informed individuals who are witnessing history unfold. This is your first call to action. Become part of this inner circle. Now let's dive into the hard evidence. To truly grasp the magnitude of today's event, we must first dismantle the single greatest myth that has been sold to the world, that the Iraqi dinar's low value was a reflection of Iraq's economic reality. This was a carefully constructed illusion, a temporary state of affairs enforced by post-war regulations and international sanctions designed to stabilize a nation in crisis, not to define its economic destiny. Think of it like this: if you were to take the most valuable piece of real estate in the world, say a plot of land sitting on top of a diamond mine, and you put a temporary fence around it with a sign that says this land is only worth $1, that doesn't change the fact that beneath the surface are trillions of dollars in diamonds. The sign is a formality, a placeholder, until the true owners are ready to develop the land and reveal its staggering worth. Iraq has been that plot of land for the last 2 decades. Its currency, the dinar, was that $1 sign. But today the fence has been taken down. The sign has been replaced. The world is now being invited to see the true value that was always there. The evidence for this is not just in one document, but in a convergence of multiple, undeniable data points from the highest echelons of global finance. Let's start with the most critical piece of the puzzle that was just put into place: the final compliance report from the International Monetary Fund, specifically under Article VIII, which Iraq has now fully and irrevocably satisfied. For years, the IMF required Iraq to remove all restrictions on current international transactions, a key step towards making a currency fully convertible and internationally recognized. As of 48 hours ago, that final hurdle was cleared. This is not a minor bureaucratic step. This is the equivalent of a nation receiving its financial diploma, signaling to every central bank and foreign exchange market in the world that its currency is now stable, trustworthy, and ready for prime time. This single action dismantles the entire argument of the skeptics who claimed the dinar would never be a global currency. The gates are now officially open. But the IMF compliance was just the key turning in the lock. It was the white paper published by the Central Bank of Iraq itself that blew the doors wide open. a document so revolutionary in its language that its implications are only now being decoded by the global financial intelligence community. This isn't just a dry economic policy statement. This is a declaration of financial sovereignty and a bold blueprint for the future. The central bank has explicitly announced the complete and total deletion of the zeros from the currency. But understand this correctly. This is not the simple introduction of new banknotes that we've heard about for years. This is the final, formal process of redenomination, a move that is only possible and only makes logical sense after a significant revaluation has already occurred. They are not just changing the look of the money, they are restructuring the entire monetary system to reflect a new, vastly stronger baseline value. Think of it like a company performing a reverse stock split. They reduce the number of shares in circulation to make each individual share more valuable and stable. Iraq is doing the same for its currency. By removing the zeros, they are creating a currency that is easier to use for daily transactions. Yes, but more importantly, they are positioning the new Iraqi dinar to compete directly with other major global currencies like the euro, the British pound, and indeed the US dollar. The math is inescapable. For this new, lower denomination currency to have any practical use in a modern economy, its value must be a fraction of a major currency, not a fraction of a cent. The white paper confirms this by outlining the new currency's role in facilitating international trade and investment without the need for complex calculations involving millions of units. This is the smoking gun. This document, straight from the source, is the confident announcement that the dinar is ready to take its place on the world stage. And what underpins this confidence? It's the one asset that no other nation on earth can rival: the most staggering and proven reserves of natural resources in human history. We are talking about an economy that isn't built on tech startups or manufacturing, but on the very lifeblood of the global industrial machine: oil and gas. Iraq possesses the world's fifth largest proven oil reserves, and that number is considered by most geologists to be a conservative estimate, with vast swaths of the country remaining unexplored due to decades of conflict. But here is the critical pivot that changes everything. The new oil and gas law, finally passed after years of political deadlock, now allows Iraq to bypass the petrodollar system entirely. For 50 years, the world has been forced to buy oil in US dollars, creating an artificial, perpetual demand for the currency that has propped up the American economy. That era ended today. Iraq is now legally empowered to sell its oil and its massive reserves of natural gas in any currency it chooses. And with its new, strong, internationally recognized dinar, the choice is obvious. They will sell their oil for dinars. This creates an immediate, tangible, and colossal global demand for the Iraqi currency. Every nation that needs energy, from China to India to the European Union, will now have to acquire Iraqi dinars to purchase Iraqi oil. This creates a fundamental asset-backed value for the currency that the US dollar, a fiat currency backed only by the full faith and credit of a government drowning in debt, simply cannot match. The dinar is now backed by the most valuable tangible assets on the planet, while the dollar is backed by promises that are rapidly losing their credibility. This is the great flipping of the script. This is the moment the global South, led by Iraq's immense natural wealth, finally seizes control of its financial destiny and decouples from the Western financial system that has exploited it for generations. The flow of capital is about to reverse course, and a tidal wave of wealth is poised to flow directly into the new Iraqi economy, and by extension, into the hands of those who were wise enough to see this coming and position themselves accordingly. So the question that remains for you, the viewer, is not if this happened, but what you are going to do about it now that you possess this information ahead of the general public. We have connected the dots from the IMF's final approval to the Central Bank of Iraq's strategic white paper, and finally to the game-changing oil and gas law that severs the umbilical cord of the petrodollar. The evidence is a perfect, interlocking chain of events that leads to one inescapable conclusion: the revaluation is complete. The market just doesn't know it yet, but it will. And when it does, the window of opportunity that is wide open right now will slam shut with a finality that will echo for generations. The initial, quiet notifications have already gone out to the primary international banking partners and sovereign wealth funds. The process of updating the foreign exchange rates on the back end of global banking systems, a monumental logistical task known as the global currency reset, is underway. This is why you are not seeing this on CNN or Bloomberg. The elites do not announce these things with a trumpet blast. they execute them with silent precision, allowing themselves and their clients to position themselves before the tidal wave of public awareness hits. The official public announcement from the government of Iraq will come, but it will be a formality, a confirmation of a new reality that has already been established. It will be presented as a historic monetary reform, a new chapter for the nation, which it is. But for those in the know, it is the starting pistol for the greatest wealth transfer in modern history. This is your moment to move from being a spectator to being a participant. This is your chance to be on the right side of a financial paradigm shift that textbooks will be written about for decades to come. Imagine looking back at this day, this very video, as the moment you decided to take control of your financial destiny, the moment you stopped listening to the noise of the mainstream narrative and acted on verified, logical, and groundbreaking information. The path forward is clear, but it requires decisive action. The first and most crucial step is to secure your position. If you have not already acquired Iraqi Dinar, the time to do so through official and legitimate channels is now, before liquidity dries up and before the new rates are formally posted on major Forex platforms. If you are already holding, your task is to stay informed and prepare for the redemption process. This is not the time for fear or hesitation. It is the time for calm, confident execution of a plan based on the facts now laid bare before you. Do not wait for your friends to text you the news or for your local bank to call you, because by then, it will be too late to get in at the ground floor. The ground floor is right here, right now. This is your final call to action, and it is the most important one you will ever receive. Do not let this opportunity become a story of what if. Let it become the defining moment of your financial freedom. Go to the comments section right now and type Financial Sovereignty to let me know you are ready to be part of this new economic dawn. But that's not all. I have just prepared a comprehensive, step-by-step guide that breaks down the exact post-revaluation process, including how to verify the new rates, which international banks are confirmed participants, and the documents you will need to have ready for a smooth exchange. This guide is crucial, and I am making it available exclusively to our channel members and those who have subscribed and hit the notification bell. So, if you haven't already subscribed, hit that bell and like this video to ensure you get immediate access to that vital information the moment it drops. This journey does not end with this video, it begins here. You are now armed with the truth. The responsibility to act is yours. The world of finance has been reset. The dollar's era has ended. The dinar's era has begun. Be part of the history that happens next. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, and I will see you in the next video, where we will break down the first official announcements together.